Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. Goldbelly ships Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garden's famous cakes. So, if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's goldbelly.com, promo code GIFT.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Oh, let me know if you guys can hear me, see me, all the good things. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. For those that are watching me on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. All right, so Twitch. I'm wearing my merch fresh out the box. That's why it's a little wrinkly. Are you okay? Yes, look at that. And look, yep. Are you okay? houseofkempire.com. That's Haus of Kempire.com. More information is available in the description. Go get your merch today. Okay, welcome back to the Kempire channel. We are talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac this week's episode. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac, if you didn't know. And for those that don't follow me on other platforms, this is where we do our long form recap of Real Housewives of Potomac. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on the things, this is where we do it. But you can also hear it on the Kempire podcast. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to the Kempire podcast if you haven't already. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I did drop a new episode, Club Kempire, which is exclusively on Apple Podcasts and for our Club Kempire baddies. So I talk about a bunch of different topics and spill a little tea as well. So be sure to check that out on the Kempire podcast. Okay. Shout out to everyone, and Lord have mercy. Mr. Melon Magic has a new picture, and I can't really see what he's holding up there. Is it the insurance fraud thing that Kenya did? Yeah, it looks like it. Miss Melon Magic says that at the dinner table, Europe cities did chin check Angel in disguise. Not Angel in disguise. We have a lot to talk about in regards to this episode because Angel, are you okay? Are you okay, Angel? I really thought you were a big, you were about that life. But Kay really chin-checked you in real time. Okay, not literally chin-checked, but in real time. I was like, oh, God, I hate this for Angel. But it's very clear that Angel and Kay had a conversation. We need to have each other's back. Girl, you know I've been doing this for the last couple of years. I know a thing or two about this show. And now you see that your friend doesn't know a damn thing about this show. Angel, I want so much better for you. You and that fine-ass husband. Yes, you're still winning, Angel. You're still winning. You got the fine husband, and she's got Greg. I'm sorry. Woo! Okay, Angel, she done chin-checked you. Oh, in front of all of our eyes. And we think she's corny for the behavior this season. So you got chin-checked by a cornball. Damn. When Greg came out with those $20 bills and he wanted to act like, she did a whole makeover for Greg. She did a whole makeover for Greg. And she's like, and when things get a little heated, Greg, I want you to come in and bring the cash. Lies! The lie! I thought to myself, I was like, this is giving so rehearsed and so pre-produced. This is exactly what Keiarna has been giving us all season. It's only been 3 episodes, Kempire. I know. That's all she's been giving since episode 1. So I don't believe that Greg, the social worker, nothing wrong with social workers, shout out to all the social workers, he ain't coming over there to give. You saw her, she was like, yeah, give me. It was giving so rehearsed. Oh my God. Exactly. Funky said, and his sandals. I looked at his feet. She made sure she gave him a little bit of a makeover, but I'll get back to that. I'm jumping ahead. Because that's the first thought I had. I was like, oh God, she really is trying to correct the wrongs that she paid too much attention to what you guys said on social media. And now she's trying to overcorrect the season, and she's coming across cornier than Shamia. I literally said she might luck out by the time we get to the reunion because there's just so much to unpack when it comes to Karen Huger, when it comes to Wendy Acefo. But Kay, girl, I hate this for you. I really hate this for you. But let me start from the beginning. For those that may have missed it, we already talked about the Real Housewives of Potomac taglines during our Real Housewives of Miami recap. If you want to know my ratings, I even did a short form version of that on TikTok. So for those that may think that I did not talk about it, no, we did. And there are timestamps so you can go directly to the Real Housewives of Miami recap. And first of all, why didn't you watch the Real Housewives of Miami recap? But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So I do have a timestamp for my Real Housewives of Potomac taglines. So before you come here and say, where are the tagline reviews, Kempire? I just told you where. Real Housewives Miami recap from Friday. Okay. So be sure to check that out. I still like Stacey's. I still like Gizelle's tagline. I have to say, Tia's tagline grew on me even more. The more I hear it, the more I say it, I'm like, yes, I've got loads. I'm like, all right. So be sure to check that out. Watch what happens live. Andy looked like he was bored as much as we were bored with his guests. And I can't even blame him because Kay can't even bring it during Watch What Happens Live. I was bored. I was like, oh, God. I thought maybe I might get something, maybe more clarification as to why Kay has the issues that she has with Wendy. I didn't. I will give it to Kay, though. She did give grace to Wendy. She wasn't tacky like her friend Ashley. She did give grace, and she said she's praying for Wendy. And yeah, she said she was shocked, and disappointed. Okay. We also did a video yesterday for those that may have missed it. We did talk about Wendy breaking her silence. Again, I remind you, they are contractually obligated to promote the show. So that's part of the reason why she did break her silence yesterday. I did see after I did the video, Eddie broke his silence with a scripture. Duck, Eddie, duck. Okay. Everyone's like, it's so interesting when people commit crimes, they go to the Lord. Well, alleged crimes, y'all. They still have not had their day in court. I'm waiting to hear how this is going to be addressed. When addressed on the show, addressed legally. But we shall see. We shall see. All right. So I will say, Keiarna, I'm sorry, girl. And look, this is not a diss. I know people are like, why y'all hating on Keiarna? Because she's boring. But being boring on reality television, I don't think it's a bad... Well, no, it is a bad thing. It's a bad thing for the people watching, but it's not a bad thing for who you are as a person. You probably, again, this is why I call her Keiarna Beautiful Gown Stewart, because that's all she's going to give us, and she does give it to us. And a beautiful condo. Beautiful. Mother's beautiful. Brother's beautiful. The outfits are beautiful. The home is beautiful. But that is it. That is it. Sorry. All right. And she also can't even necessarily get her point across clearly. That's probably why she said Europe cities and not European cities. Like, there's certain words that she be fighting. Look, she be fighting with, and I'm just like, wait, what did she say? Better, best. When she was talking to Wendy later on in the episode, she first, better, best, and I was like, what? Who? What? Is that a Baltimore thing? Shout out to Baltimore. Is that a Baltimore thing? Oh, God. All right. Let's start from the top. Stacey with her daughter, Bella. So apparently Bella is going to start doing pageants and things. Is that a big thing in the DMV area? I feel like it is. Because remember, we had two pageant girls on the show, Ashley and Candace. So Stacey's with her daughter. So she's like, Stacey, oh, God, I feel like Stacey's going to be a momager. I have a feeling. So Stacey gets up and she wants to show her daughter how to walk. I have to say, I could definitely see. Was Stacey in pageants too? Someone tell me. So Stacey gets up and she walks. AJ's there and AJ's like, girl, if you don't sit down. Stacey needed AJ this season because no one wanted to film with her. Everyone was coming for her. She needed her best friend. And I appreciate that. He is kind of giving me the old school of what we used to get on Atlanta when we had the gays be a part. But he doesn't feel like an accessory. He feels like he's a family. He feels like a friend. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like he's a friend that's going to hold Stacey accountable. He's like, girl, if you don't sit down. So Stacey reveals that she has still has not told Bella that her and Timo are getting back together. Okay? Or that they're back together and they're working on things, even though she's wearing her engagement ring. But she's like, Bella's a smart girl. So I can already assume that she knows. Dee Dee says, I liked Stacey's walk. She was walking. I was impressed. It was giving very like, was she ever in pageants before? It was definitely giving that. Okay. And she looked great. That's why I was like, But AJ was like, sit down. Sit down. JB says, yes, I love AJ on the show, more of him. Yeah, because I feel like he's going to be that friend that's going to be like, girl, stop, you're doing too much. Or tell these girls, like, why are you coming for my friend like this? Like, what's the issue? She needs it because based off what we've heard, everyone's coming for Stacey the entire season. Okay. Aaliyah says, I thought she said Timu. No, you got me confused. Timo, right? Timo. That's her name of her ex-husband. And we found out, for those that may have missed it, we did a video on this as well, that they did actually get a divorce. TMZ confirmed that Stacey and her ex did get a divorce. So she FaceTimes with Timo to show Arabella, getting ready for the pageant and things like that. But she explains she has not told Bella that they're back together. But she probably can sense it. Kids can sense a lot of stuff. They're probably living in the same house again, right? They never really stopped living in the same house? I don't know, but I'm happy for Stacey. I guess. I mean, look, like I've said before, everyone wants to be like, oh, she lies. But it's not unlikely that a couple that was together for so long, he filed for divorce, that maybe they want to get back together again. Like, when people get single, ask Tia. When people become single and then they get out in these streets and y'all see what's left out here and y'all like, take me back. Take me back. I mean, I don't know. I'm in the streets, so. Funky, your new picture is gorgeous. Funky's picture is gorgeous. It's giving beat face. Okay, and hair. Move back. Okay, sorry. All right, so we have that scene with Stacey and her daughter. Fine. Then we have a sit down, which, again, if you've seen the previews for this week's episode, we already saw most of the sit down. Wendy and Kay sit down for a conversation, okay? So Kay says that Wendy only wanted to be TV friends, and off camera, it feels like Wendy never liked her, which is very possible. It's very possible. A lot of these people don't even believe that Wendy and Candace were friends like that. I've said it. I never really believed that they were friends like that. So, and here's the thing. I think Kay is having a realization, and I wonder if she feels like the other women are her friends. Maybe she does in some respect. But also, we also have to think, too, Wendy lives out there in Bumble Nuck Nuck, and she lives in Baltimore. So they're really far from each other. So she tries to make it seem like she's like, when we're on the phone sometimes, it feels like that everyone, like it feels like that it's always about the show. Which I'm telling you, a lot of other housewives have a similar story where in their heads they come on the show and they think that, this is a real friend group. And unfortunately, it's not like what it used to be. Like Real Housewives of New York or Real Housewives of New Jersey or Real Housewives of Atlanta, where some of these people were really friends or at least associates. It's not like that anymore, unfortunately, especially with the way that casting is done. And sometimes real friendships can be formed. Sometimes. Okay? So, So Kay says she feels like, Wendy's one way on camera and another way off camera. So before they even get into their relationship, Kay wants to talk about Preakness. Okay, so she's like, let's discuss this first. It's unrelated. Okay, Ocean Dream says Wendy's almost in Pennsylvania. Yeah, she's far. We've always known that Wendy lives very far away. Okay, so Kay says she asked Wendy whether she wanted to do this because she said she's hosting something and she knows that Wendy's hosting something, and she was like, I don't know if you want to do something together. And Wendy's like, well, I was invited by the First Lady of Maryland to personally host this situation. I mean, like, we're not going to forget the old remember the rumors around Wendy and how she got on the show, and people said that she tried to chuck and jive to get into certain circles, and like she was a social climber. Remember those are rumors. I'm not saying that they were true. I'm just saying that remember those rumors. And now she is in those rooms because she's on the show. Okay, so Kay wants to get that out, and Wendy's just like, well, no, I was invited personally by the First Lady. So Kay already starts to have a reaction to it, just like, okay, well, fine. Well, I guess we'll just have a separate thing. Okay, fine. Wendy says what Kay brought to Ashley's event was juvenile. Okay, and she says that she has always had Kay's back. And she was like, when Ashley was saying that you got your business from drug money, I had your back. And production has Wendy's back. They're pulling up the receipts. But in Kay's head, she's like, well, you do a lot of that stuff for the camera. You're not really a friend off camera. But what is she doing off camera? Is because she's not reaching out to you? How many of these women are actually reaching out to you and having conversations or trying to be your friend? It makes me wonder. But maybe they are. Maybe the other women are. I can see that Gizelle reaches out to Keiarna, because Gizelle is also a vet and understands you have to build on these relationships. But also, Keiarna is friends with Cal, who is besties with and does hair for Gizelle. So I could see why you might have a relationship with Gizelle. And maybe she thought she would have that same relationship with Wendy. It's very clear Keiarna's issue here is that Wendy's one way on the show, and she feels like Wendy is not a good friend to her off the show. But how is she being a bad friend? I mean, like a bad friend, besides not necessarily calling you. Because I understand that for a real friendship, you not calling, you not keeping communication open. Yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever. You're not a good friend. But has she said or done anything to make you really be like, damn, she's terrible. She's a terrible person. It doesn't sound like it because you're not giving us the examples. And it seems that you're falling for the housewives curse of like getting in your feelings and reaching for an issue, and there is no issue. Whatlet says that Kay is a brat, period. Is she an only child? She isn't an only child, but you can be a brat without being an only child. Mo Reality Show, hey, says Kay could have had a good clapback for Wendy's situation had it happened then. I mean, yeah, but still, it feels like a reach. It feels like a reach. All right. Layla says Kay is still looking for the reasons herself. That's what it feels like. And here's the thing. After watching this episode, because I was trying to, like, because, like we said before, we've heard things about Wendy and people not feeling like they can connect with her behind the scenes, okay? But what I'm seeing this season, especially with the angel of it all, I was like, oh no, you came in with a plot and a plan. You came in with a plot and a plan, and you're trying to be a certain personality, and it's falling flat. So it's not even, look, we can feel the way that we feel. And shout out to Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going podcast. She said something on X that I have to agree with. We can feel what we feel about what's going on currently with Wendy. But for this season, I'm taking the episodes as the episodes. I need to put aside what we now know about Wendy until we get to that particular point. Because I have to take it as is. And as is, Keiarna, this is corny. This is a reach. It's not landing. It's giving pre-produced. It's giving I'm working overtime so I can secure my position on the show. That's what That's what it's giving. Just saying. Sorry, but not sorry. No, not sorry at all. All right, let's continue with their conversation. Okay. So Wendy feels like the conversation that they had at Ashley's event was juvenile. She says she's always had her back. Kay says that she expected more from her friendship with Wendy off camera. That's very clear. Okay. And again, did you address this with Wendy off camera? Because you really, like, this didn't need to be an issue, but unless you, in your head, you said, okay, Wendy's going to be my issue this season. And yeah, it's not landing. Melissa's watching on Facebook, always watching on Facebook. Shout out to our Facebook fam. Melissa says, yes, exactly. People got a oh Lord. It's just like Europe cities over here. Compartmentalized. There we go. You know certain words? Foxy says that Wendy's laugh was not nice because Wendy starts laughing. I don't blame Wendy for laughing. Again, we're watching an edited version of the conversation, but if someone came to me with a non-issue, which has happened to me, where someone has an issue with me and I'm like, what? Who, what, where? What did I do? What did I say? I would probably laugh at them too. Like, girl, when you're watching this and you know you're filming and you're like, girl, you are reaching. I probably would laugh at her too. I probably like, and I know that Wendy's laugh probably is the most condescending laugh ever to have a condescending laugh. But I probably would have laughed at Keiarna too. Like, girl, you are doing the most right now. You're doing the most. So, Kay says she expected more from the friendship. Kay says that Wendy doesn't even like Gizelle because they bring up Gizelle in the conversation that Wendy was having with Gizelle. And she's like, you don't even like Gizelle. I found it interesting when Wendy says, you don't even like Gizelle. I thought that was interesting because it made me go, oh, did Kay say something to Wendy about Gizelle? And she was like, you don't even like Gizelle. Talina says that word was kicking Kempire's ASS. You right. Compartmentalized. There we go. All right. Amanda says, as a Gemini, I understand Wendy laughing because really, what is the issue? I agree, Amanda, and this is coming from a Taurus. All right. So this was an interesting conversation because it felt like we had another conversation between Wendy and Kay that went nowhere. Because I think for Wendy, it's like, okay, I don't understand the issue. I don't know what we're trying to resolve here. But okay. So Kay does not like it when Wendy starts laughing and she's just like, basically, you know what? I'm done. Yeah, because you look silly, girl. You look silly. And that's exactly why Wendy is laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, like my t-shirt, Kay, are you okay? Are you okay? Clearly not. So they start arguing about who likes Gizelle, who doesn't like Gizelle. We already know that Wendy and Giselle's peace treaty is just that. We know that they do not like each other realistically. They're getting along to get along for the show. We all know that. I was more shocked at when Wendy pointed out, you don't like Gizelle. What does Wendy know? And what did they edit out? Did she spill? Like, you told me you don't like Gizelle. Mill says that Gizelle doesn't like Kay. I think she likes Kay because Cal likes Kay. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's part of the reason why Gizelle is cordial with Keiarna. Oh, Cherie says on Watch What Happens Live, Kay rolled her eyes when the guest said that Gizelle was a girl's girl. Because I'm sure we're probably going to see a falter in the relationship between Kay and Gizelle this season. We're already seeing it because of what's playing out between Keiarna and her friend Angel. So she probably blames Gizelle for that. Hey, Adrian. Adrian says, I caught her live. Love you, Kempire. Thank you so much for the love. Miss Breeze says that Wendy sees Kay as weak and is messing with her to validate her ego. You think? I'm sure she does probably see Keiarna this week, but Vigilian says that Gizelle tolerates Kay. CIUWC says nobody likes Gizelle. I mean, I'm sure her mama does. Listen, I want to know K sign too. Do we know K sign? What's K sign? CIU says Gizelle added sauce to that chin check comment, to be honest. Do you think she did? I don't think this is the one time that Gizelle did not add sauce to a situation. Literally, we see Kay say chin check, and we see how she said it. She didn't just say chin check. She added a little bit more funk to it. She's like, yeah, we can't have that. She added a whole funk to it. She had a different energy. So, and this is the one time that Gizelle did not add, any sauce to a situation. Winter says Gizelle doesn't like anybody but Robin, which is interesting. Do we know what Keiarna is? A Scorpio, Kayla? She's a Scorpio? Look, I don't know. LC says, Crystal and Cynthia were just talking about you. Said they learned a few things from you, Kempire. I love it. Yes, guys, if you missed it, I was on the Humble Brag podcast, 2 weeks ago now? Yeah, 2 weeks ago today. So if you missed it, go run up the numbers for the YouTube video. I'm competitive. I want us to be the number one interview. Okay, behind Nene. We can't beat Nene. She's a legend. She's an icon. But let's be the next one. Come on, go run those numbers up and go leave a comment. Okay. All right. She's the end of November. Also, she's a Sagittarius. I don't know. Normally, Sagittarius is really interesting on this show. She might be the one that's not. All right, let's move on. So Kay does not like the fact that Wendy starts laughing at her. So she gets up and she's like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And they end up walking away together. And to the point where you see Wendy try to put her arm around Kay. And Kay's like, no. And it seems as if this is not that deep. It's definitely not that deep for Wendy. But it can't be that deep for Keiarna either. So I don't know. It's not that deep. All right. But Kay does say in their conversation, she feels like the conversations that they do end up having off camera centers around the show. I'm not surprised by that. This is very much Housewives. I feel like a lot of Housewives are like this as well. Here's the thing. Like, even my conversations that I've had with Housewives, if you meet them in the wild, it's always centered around the show. And as someone that does this for a living, we could talk about other stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised that when you get on the phone with Wendy, it's not about everything else, and it's about the show. I'm not surprised by that. But for Keiarna, maybe it's a shock for her. So Keiarna walks away. Wendy walks away with her, and she puts her arm around her, and Keiarna's like, "Get off of me." All right. Angel's at home with her fine-ass husband, Bobby. Yeah. What I like about Angel and Bobby, they seem like a regular couple. They seem like they really enjoy each other. They are partners in the wilderness store. I love calling it the wilderness store. Okay. They seem like they have a solid, really cool relationship. I like them. Look, I do. And they seem regular, which we need. We need to normalize regular relationships, okay? Layla says they have a beautiful relationship. And he seems like he really rides for his wife as well. So I enjoy it. Angel talks about losing her mother. She lost her mother about 10 years ago. And what I do like about Angel, she's very spiritual in a lot of ways. And you know, I'm very spiritual in a lot of ways too. And I could be a little witchy as well. So I like that about her. And I like that she's talking about it freely. And just like, this is like who I am and whatnot. So she talks about the signs that she gets from like her mother. And Bobby was talking about like how mom wouldn't allow shoes in the house. He's like, you know, mom's not here anymore. And all of a sudden, like a breeze came through and all the papers flew off the table. And they were like, uh-oh. So she believes that her mother is still very much present in her life and protecting her always. Ari says, Bobby the body. You know what? Do not sexualize this man. He's very hot, though. Ashley says, unless it's regular Robin. No, I think you guys misunderstand when we use regular Robin. Some of you probably weren't there. It wasn't just about her being regular. It's a double entendre. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed why, and then people just like the way I say it. So it's not just about, some people feel like, oh, I have a problem with regular people. I am a regular person. I'm very regular, all right? So I think you guys miss the joke, the inside joke that we have, okay? LW says, Angel seems well-rounded. And I think Angel's falling for the curse of falling in line with Kay instead of just having her own voice. And I thought last week that she did have her own voice when she defended Wendy. She was like, did you ask her about her kids? And I think offline, Kay and Angel had a conversation, and Kay probably made it seem, girl, I know this better than you, and you should fall in line and have my back no matter what. These girls are going to come try and come in between our friendship, and you can't let that happen. It's very clear that's what Kay did, and you fell for it, Angel, and now we're all looking at you like, girl, are you okay? Look, are you okay? Anyway. So they talk about that. She talks about her mom is still protecting her. She discusses what Gizelle brought up at her event and Kay's comments about chin checking her. And she's like, that's a very aggressive comment. And she's like, after it happened, she woke up the next day feeling a way about it the next day. And I get it. When you're we have to also keep in mind, and we have real moments like this where something happens and then the next day you feel, even though in the moment you were like, but then the next day you feel upset about it. Can you imagine you're filming, so you have to move on like really quickly from what has happened. So then there's that element. So I don't blame Angel for the next day. She squashed it that day, but I don't blame her for the next day feeling like, that's weird. Okay, so she says that, she didn't like that comment. She woke up feeling away the next day and that she feels disrespected. And I'm sure when Angel saw the actual scene, okay, when she saw the actual scene, she probably said, that was pretty aggressive the way that she said it. Like she was checking her friend. I will say this, though, after the last scene, it does feel like she may have chin-checked you, Angel. And I hate for this to ruin a 20-year friendship. But if this is how your friend is going to, look, we don't talk enough about how friendships are ruined on reality television. You might have to ruin this friendship, girl, because there's no way I could ride with Keiarna with this one. But that's me. Funky says, who brought Keiarna on the show again? Who brought Keiarna on the show? Technically, we know that doesn't mean that they're really friends. Who was it? Was it Wendy? Lavender says Wendy did. Doesn't mean that they were real friends. So keep that in mind. All right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. The latest episode is only episode 3. Don't forget, you can also support the channel just by liking, sharing, telling a friend to tell a friend. We're over at, how many subscribers? We're at 552,000 subscribers here. Let me put my little thing up on the back here so y'all can see my subscribers as we go up. We're garnering more and more people. Cad, I'm just gonna call you Cad. Thank you so much for the super chat. Cad says Angel ain't the one. She's the 1, 2, and the 3. Cad also sent another super chat. Crazy how they're all villainizing Wendy. I don't feel like everyone's villainizing Wendy. I feel like Kay is trying to villainize Wendy, and now Angel at the end of this episode. Gary, thank you so much for super chat and for being a member. Gary says, the way y'all have turned on Kay this season is wild. I absolutely get what she's saying about Wendy being a friend for the cameras. I get what she's saying, but it feels like a reach to have such an issue that we were bringing this from friend to friend, this to that. And it doesn't seem like anyone is co-signing her issue with Wendy. It doesn't seem like anyone is co-signing her issue. And look, let's be honest. If y'all been watching my recaps for a long time, this is not me turning on Keiarna. I never really enjoyed Keiarna. Y'all did. And I blame y'all for the reason why she is a full-time housewife. Y'all wanted her to be a full-time housewife. I said this a couple of seasons back when they were featuring her business as a friend of. I was like, girl, enjoy that. There is no need to come on this show and share more than you need to share. They're already sharing your business. You're already getting a little bit of screen time. Y'all keep asking for people that were friend ofs to become full-time. Last week, y'all were like, oh, y'all should give a Cookie a flute. No, you should not. No, you should not. Calm down with that. Andrea, I literally said the same thing. I said this on Twitter, and I just said this at the top of the recap. Thank you so much for Super Chat. Andrea says, Kempire, Keiarna's giving me Shamia vibes. She's clicking down, and she started strong with me, but now she irks my spirit. I don't even feel like she started strong. Y'all just love the beautiful gowns. Y'all just love the beautiful gowns. Beautiful face. This is where pretty privilege comes in. Y'all need to start checking your own pretty privilege in your heads, because a lot of y'all were like, oh my God. Dee says, I never said Kay should be full-time. Me either. Okay. But okay. Exactly. Crystal says they are co-workers, not real friends. But I can see where Kay might have gotten that mixed up, coming in, not realizing that, yeah, they're not really your friends, unfortunately. I mean, real friendships can be formed, but ultimately, everyone is out for themselves on this show. Daddy says that Stacey was right. Keiarna is so vanilla. B.Y. says that Kay is a disappointment. K-Baby says that we thought she had potential. We were wrong. At least K-Baby is owning it. K-Baby says we thought she had potential. We were wrong. Joyce says, leave us alone, Kempire. We wanted her to be full-time. I'm just saying. All right. Mook says, Kay is looking for a problem with Wendy that I really don't think she wants. Right now, it's not landing. It's not landing for her. All right. Singer DST says, everyone's allowed to change their minds. Winter says, well, I'm definitely Wendy in this situation. I just co-work and nothing more. I mean, I'm that way. When I used to work in the corporate world, yes, I made friends and some people that I still talk to today, but I was very not making friends with everybody at the office. The people at the office are not your friends. Just saying. Mr. Melon Magic says, I liked Europe Cities and wanted her full time. Some of this just seems out of the blue with her. Is it? Is it really? I'm at work says in my Tyra voice, Kay, we were rooting for you. Not me. Y'all were. Bill says that Bravo needs to stop listening to the audience. Kay flopped just like Kiki flopped. Oh. I think they listen to the audience on some level, but they don't outright listen to the audience. Hey, Adrian. Adrian says, Kay should have remained a friend of only. They gave her a flute so that she wouldn't sue for getting busted upside the head by Sesame Street. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. She doesn't have anything going on and is manufacturing issues. Boom. She doesn't. She should have remained a friend of. Just saying. Thank you, Gary, for the super chat. Gary says they wanted her to be full-time when she was, quote, Team Wendy and Team Candace. Now that she's off that, they're off her. You mean the audience? I don't even think it's about that. Again, I'm open to her having an issue with Wendy, but what's the issue? Wendy is not your friend? Please tell me how these other women have been your friend. Please tell me. Just saying. King of Kings says she's just reaching and it looks so rehearsed. And y'all know, go back to episode 1's recap. I said I'm open to hearing what Kay has to say. I just feel like Kay isn't able to articulate herself. We're on episode 3 and I'm like, I feel like she's going to end up like Shamia. She might luck out though, become the reunion because Wendy has her charges. Karen will be back. So there's a lot to unpack. So people will probably breeze over the Keiarna of it all. But sorry. All right, let me move on. Guys. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. We had that scene with Angel and her fine husband at home. Okay, now we're at this scene with Stacey and Jazzy. If you came to my DC show where Stacey came, she revealed that she's been very friendly with Stacey, and they said that the reason why they came close was because of what went down with Mia in Miami and how Mia basically just left them for dead on the side of the street in Miami. And she's like, she's grateful for Mia doing that because it brought her closer to Jazzy. But Stacey first starts with the conversation by apologizing for not being a good friend lately, which I thought was interesting. I was like, you're not a good friend lately. What happened? Like, what's that about? But she gets ahead of it. And she apologizes. And Jazzy's like, it's okay. Stacey says that that she's working things out with her ex, so she's updating Jazzy with everything in regards to that. Jazzy says that, you know, she's planning her wedding, which we will probably see because they did film it. And she's like, I'm going to have multiple outfit changes. I'm going to be putting on a performance. Jazzy definitely gives like she wants to be on the show. I get it. A lot of these women are fans and they want to be on the show. She's still a friend of the season. Jazzy, enjoy, girl. If they're going to show your wedding and you're a friend of, at least they're not digging into your relationship. Even though as a friend of last season, they dug into your relationship and your explanation of the timeline of the situation with those two babies that he had while he was still in a relationship with you. Let's just act like that didn't happen this season. Let's celebrate my love with you. Let's just do that. Let's just do that this season. Let's just focus on let's get married. Let's just do that. Damn, I sound like Ashley right now. Mary says that Jazzy's a cute friend of. Remember, we had high hopes for Jazzy last season. We liked how Jazzy came in last season. And we're like, oh, I kind of like Jazzy. She was giving more than Keiarna last season. We're like, Or at least for me, this is what I said during my recap, okay? So I was open to her. And then she came to the reunion. And I was like, oh, gosh, she's giving very thirsty. Okay. Pageant Mommy says that Stacey and Jazzy's scene was very plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. But Greek yogurt has a lot of protein in it. So there's potential. Okay? No, it really was a non-scene for me. But Stacey says, you know, the ladies are coming for her and they've been ganging up on her. So it seems like she was trying to call in the troops. Okay? So Stacey mentions that, you know, they're going to Preakness. She's going to Preakness. You should meet up with us at the Preakness. So she'll be at Preakness with the folks. Then she mentions Gizelle. She mentions the fact that Gizelle has some new man. You know, everyone's focused on what's going on with Stacey and her relationships, but no one's talking about Gizelle and her new man. Apparently, he's some retired NFL player. Jazzy's man doesn't really know him because he's currently playing. Understandable, he probably knows of him, but doesn't know who he. I don't remember this being a story. Did you guys see this on the blogs? I didn't know. Here's the thing. After the whole situation from whatever season that was with Sherman, after that season, I told you we were no longer going to see the real Gizelle ever again or her real relationships. Hence why she brought Pastor Jamal on the show, acting as if they were going to rekindle. And you want to know the reason why I do not believe that relationship? Because first of all, the way that Pastor Jamal cheated on Gizelle so badly, and the information coming out that he actually is with someone else and she's pretending like they're together, like all of that spilled over. We knew that this wasn't a real relationship, okay? That's why we didn't believe it, okay? And especially like how many years later you guys are rekindling, it was definitely giving storyline. Doja says Sherman broke her heart. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So I didn't see the story in regards to Gizelle dating this NFL player. It definitely seemed as if that is more her type than when she brought Jason on the show. That also was giving pre-produced. So whoever this retired NFL player is, look, Giselle's a Virgo. She's an earth sign like me. I'm not surprised that she has not brought a real relationship on this show because she's like, they don't require me to bring my real relationship on the show, so I'm not going to. I believe that probably that this NFL, just based off the blurred picture, I was like, that seems more her type than Jason. And we already know, if you know Jason and his history on the show, Gizelle was never his type. Okay? All right. MN says, Kempire, please, could you explain what you mean by being witchy? Well, you know, that's just a light term for people that like, you know, we like a crystal or two. we do a little ritual come a full moon. Okay. We write in our journals, I would like to release the negative people in my life on this full moon. That's what I mean by a little witchy. I don't mean like a literal witch. Calm down. All right, guys, we're almost at 500 likes, but we have 1,600 people watching on multiple platforms. Okay. Gadget Girl, thank you so much for the super chat. Gadget Girl says Wendy has 3 kids, no time for kids. I mean, there is that element too. She lives out in the boonies near southern Pennsylvania. She's got 3 kids, young kids. She's got a husband. She's got scamming. She ain't got time for you. Sorry. Gadget Girl. I mean, we have to think about that. That is an important detail to mention because I'm sure as a single friend who has plenty of friends that have children and relationships and marriages, they don't have the same time for you like they did before. And you might be in your feelings because of that. We have to think about that too. Keiarna doesn't have anything going on, but you know, she has her business, but she doesn't have children and things like that. So they're very different in different places. Amy, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Amy says, no shade. When Wendy said rehearse reads, you are the queen of rehearse reads, but I never liked Keiarna or Ascala as full-time housewives candidates. You think that Wendy gives rehearse reads? I feel like all the housewives have rehearsed reads, but wouldn't say that I feel like Wendy has like, oh my God, so that was rehearsed. It doesn't give that for me, but you're entitled to your opinion. Sunshine, hold on. Let me shimmy for the $50. Wow, Sunshine. I feel like I need to take my shirt off and shimmy. No, I'm playing. I'm not doing that. Sunshine says, Pilates are paying off. You look great. Thank you, Courtney. She says, Pilates are paying off. You look great. And Team Wendy / Stacey this week. Kay annoyed me. It's embarrassing. I know. And I really was trying to keep an open mind. But here we are. Okay. Mrs. Wilson says, Keiarna's grievances were cringy at best. Yeah. Okay. Coco says, you can tell Wendy has some rehearsed reads once in a while. But they all do. So, but for me, it's not like, oh my God, there goes a rehearsed read with her. You know what I mean? Jean says, I forgot about Ascala. Okay. Carla says, I agreed with Wendy on that point. Don't have time for a needy friend. Yeah. All right, let me move on. So we had that scene with Stacey. So Stacey's coming for Giselle's neck. She's like, we need to find out more about this guy that she's dating. So then we are at home with Tia and her family, okay? So Tia's kids, they were having a battle because she's like, guys, Daddy and I are going to go out. You can have a friend over. And Sienna's telling her sister she was talking about having like 6 friends over. I said a friend. And the producer's like, how would you describe Sienna? I would describe Sienna as a lot. Okay. So we have a little bit of a back and forth with the kids. Okay. Then Tia and her husband go out to have their own conversation. And she talked about how her mom was a stay-at-home mom. She was a stay-at-home mom for a little bit before she went back into the workforce. All right. So they flash back to her selling $1 million properties. Fine. Then she talks about how one day when she came home, I put myself in her position. I can't imagine working all day and then coming home and then all of these kids are and husband are like, so what's for dinner? Excuse me? And I agree with Tia in regards to, especially because the kids are a particular age, the daughters. Like, you could cook a thing or two at this particular point for the household. All right? Amy, shut up, Amy. Shut up. Because every time I keep talking about Tia's house, Amy says Tia's backyard, needs landscaping. My thoughts exactly. Like, I was itching. I was like, but anyway. So they talk about their parenting styles and how their parenting styles are very different. And she says that, she could be a lot. Like, her mother was a lot. She didn't do dishes. Her mother, she would come and find the dishes on her bed. So she feels like that's a good parenting technique for the kids because, they need to know that you're a little bit insane. And he feels like Tia is not consistent enough. She'll say they should do one thing, but she won't bring it home. And she feels like her husband doesn't enforce. Okay. But she says, it's good to have the kids think that you're marginally insane. I like Tia in a way because I feel like she's an interesting character. Her story at home, I could care less about, but I like her commentary. I like her a part of the group so far. Mills said Tia's backyard is a whole jungle. Shut up. Stop. Not a whole jungle. No, Mrs. Ginger, you're mixing them up. That's Angel. Angel is the one who had a home that won awards. Okay. And that home was in Colorado. Okay. Hey, Tiana. Tiana says, love you, Kim. First time catching the live chat. What's going on, Tiana? Love that. All right. Mr. Melly Matches said her husband gave me, okay. We'll leave that alone. Okay. Hannah says that Tia gave me PTSD because my mom used to do the same thing. I'd come home with trash in my room because my mom said that I didn't throw it away the way that she wanted. I was like, I've never had that experience with my mother, but I was a very good child. I did what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it. Just saying. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her to do something like that, but okay. Okay, Elle says that Tia has land in acres. I didn't see land. Maybe, Elle, you saw something that we didn't see. I didn't see land. I saw bushes. Okay. And it felt a little tight, which is fine. They own it. Fine. Amy says, I like Tia, but we already have a Grand Dame. No, remember the Grand Dame says she's coming back just as Karen. So there's room for a new Grand Dame. Okay. Tiana, we've been talking about it. Tiana says, can we chat about Keiarna having an issue with Wendy? I think it's so far-fetched. Yep, we've been talking about it since we started. We've been live for almost an hour, Tiana. Okay. Tiana says, I do like Tia. I think that we should call her. Wait, I think she will call them on her bull. CIU says, Angel seems so down to earth and grounded compared to the others. I can't describe it. I agree. I've said the same thing. I didn't love her this week, though. Nia says that Tia is messy and aloof, which works for housewife. Oh, Layla says Tia reminds me of Clarice. I think you mean Charisse. Oh. DB says we earth signs usually do. Mm-hmm. DJ says, I hope Gizelle and Ashley don't start trying to dig into Tia and Angel's relationship how they did with Candace, Wendy, and Monique. Well, they will. They will. I don't think they'll do it this season, but we'll see how long it takes. All right. Let's move on from that scene. Let's go to this next scene. So Tia, Wendy, Angel, and Gizelle meet up to go shopping at this place where grandmothers shop. I honestly, I wasn't even paying attention to the clothes till Wendy made a comment about it. And I was like, looking around, I was like, oh, this was a choice. This was Giselle's choice, right? So that makes complete sense. I was like, oh yeah, she's right. The clothing here is a little, it was giving Kmart. Let's say, is Kmart still around? No, it's not, right? Onion says that that Tia is an Aquarius woman, so that explains it. Okay. Let me move on. So Tia says that Gizelle can't talk about style because she was talking about style and stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh, darling, you cannot talk about style." So then she says that she DM'd Gizelle years ago because before she got into real estate, she was into like styling and things like that. So she says she offered her help to Gizelle, but Gizelle left her on red. I don't think Gizelle read. No, she said Gizelle didn't even read the DM. Probably because they really weren't friends years ago. And it came in as probably under that whole other place in Instagram. So she never saw it. She probably didn't see it until they started following each other during the season. Okay. So, excuse me. So they talk about Angel's event not being fun. She's like, my event wasn't fun. And they were like, no, it wasn't. They flash back to it where you see Giselle's just like, the Sound Bowl does not make a fun event. So Giselle's planning the first group trip, which is going to Nevis. So I think this is fantastic. We're already going on a trip out of town. Fantastic. And we're going somewhere warm. And they're going to be staying at the Four Seasons. Fantastic. Even Wendy was like, oh, okay. And Gizelle jokes about how they won't allow her to, they haven't allowed her to host a trip in such a long time. The last trip that she hosted was when they went to New Orleans, and she was like, that was a fantastic trip. I can't remember the trip, but I do remember it being a good trip. I do remember it being a really good trip. So they flash back to the trip. Gizelle jokes about, because someone's in jail, it's left up to her to host. That is an indication of what Gizelle feels the pressure of this season. Karen's energy was definitely missed during filming, and Gizelle missed Karen. Okay, but this is why you're going to see Ashley and Gizelle working overtime this season. Okay, Myra says a good trip finally. Let's hope it is. So she said she wants to invite all the ladies to this trip. Okay, so they start looking around and they start shopping. Wendy's was like, who shops here? Our grandmother? Okay. Then they start talking. Wendy discusses the conversation that she had with Kay. So they bring up the makeup question. And Wendy was like, okay, you guys are making it sound like I said it in a bad way. And she was like, well, that's the way that it was brought to us. And then Tia puts on her American accent. And she's like, did you do your own makeup? And she's just like, Wendy didn't feel like what she said was an issue. However, I could see how someone might be a little like, what do you mean by that? Did I do my own makeup? But then they showed Keiarna's look from that night. She looked great. She looked beautiful. I mean, it doesn't hurt that she's a beautiful person, but the makeup looked fine to me. But maybe in person it didn't. I don't know. All right. Nevis. Thank you, Patricia. Nevis. So then they bring up the Kay. Of course, Gizelle brings up the fact that about the conversation about the whole chin check of it all. So Kay apparently backtracked again in regards to whether or not she said chin check, because Angel says that she came back to me later and says I never said that. So Giselle's like, so now I'm a liar? Well, you've been a liar, but okay. And Gizelle is telling on herself this season, y'all. Literally, Gizelle says, y'all say enough foolishness, I don't even have to make stuff up anymore. What? Last week, it was like, she doesn't like the truthfulness anymore. She likes lies and foolishness. And this week, it's just like, y'all say enough foolishness. I don't even need to make up stuff anymore. What stuff did you make up, Gizelle? Do tell. Do tell. We have questions. What stuff did you make up? Okay. So Kay is backtracking on whether or not she said chin check. She's like, I did not say chin check. But you said it on camera. Okay. So Gizelle says, y'all say enough foolishness, I don't even have to make stuff of it anymore. Then Angel, I have to say, very much like Kay in her scene, it's coming with this energy. She's like, I really didn't appreciate if Kay said chin check, because she was like, especially with what Kay went through on this show when it comes to the whole head situation, getting hit over the head by Deborah. So that was interesting that came up, because it will come up again later. Okay. During Keiarna's Preakness event. So Keiarna, beautiful condo. She's hosting the ladies for this Preakness event. All right. We see Greg's there. Greg is having a conversation. Stacey's the first to arrive. Greg's in the apartment. And she says, Greg's here because he wants to make it clear that he supports me. Because that was the issue last season. Again, this is so much damage control she's doing this season. So the reason why we're seeing Greg at the apartment, even though he doesn't live there, is he living in the place that they were building together? Because they were building a place together. Is he living there? Is she also helping to pay for that? Just asking. So Greg's there. Stacey arrives. Kay says in her confessional, Stacey is 6'4" and I'm 5'3", but I'm going to be the bigger person. However, producers play a clip and they show where Stacey says, Kay, every time we have an interaction, you come from a place of aggression and negativity. I thought it was very interesting that production inserted that there when Kay says this, when literally Stacey's coming, supporting her event and supporting her, coming in with a lovely energy, and you're in your confessional taking shots. And they play the clip where, Kay, every time that we have an interaction, you seem to come from a place of aggression and negativity. Okay. Julietta says, I thought Greg hated being on camera. Casey says, why were Greg and Kay's mom there in the apartment? It felt like they were there as backup. The way that they were sort of like listening to the conversation, that's what it felt like. It felt like she wanted to have her support system there. She wanted to prove, Greg is still here. Greg is still in my life. They want to justify that relationship. They want to correct the wrongs. Her mother was there as just in case, knuck if you buck. That's what it felt like. And literally Tia makes a comment about it. It felt like if things go left, Mama is right there ready to jump in. So then there's that. So Kay then talks about Gizelle's outfit, which I thought was interesting. Again, remember, these confessionals are filmed sometimes during the season and towards the end of the season and after the season. So again, it makes me wonder what exactly happens between Gizelle and Keiarna, because I thought it was interesting, Keiarna making mention, look, Gizelle has never really gotten it right when it comes to fashion. But this was the one time I was like, oh, Gizelle doesn't look that bad. And she felt like Gizelle, she was like, put zero effort into her outfit. She's like, girl. I was like, and look, she can talk, because I will give it to Kay. Her confessional's gorgeous. Her outfit at this event, though, I was like, she didn't look bad, but I didn't love it. I was like, okay. It wasn't really giving Preakness. Casey says that Gizelle's outfit was horrible. I mean, but I was sort of like, oh. Maybe I was taken more aback that Kay said it. If someone else said it, I'd be like, okay. Vicky says Gizelle looks good. I thought she looked okay. Like, we've seen Gizelle look bad. We've seen Gizelle look good. I didn't think that she looked that bad. Kelso says that the Fascinator was terrible. Was the Fascinator that bad? Doja says the outfit was okay. That's what I felt. I love Starlet. Starlet says, what you know about Knuck If You Buck Kempire? That's what the mother was given. That's what I know. That's all I know. Okay. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Zoe says, it was weird to see Angela and Kay ignore all the points made by Wendy, Ashley, and Gizelle and only passively address Wendy. It gives pre-planned. Very much so, Zoe. I agree with that. We're going to get to that in a second. RC, thank you for being a member for the super chat. Wendy, I think Wendy gave it as a compliment in regards to the makeup. A lot of makeup artists overdo the makeup, so I think Wendy was confirming Kay did her own. Kay looked great. I agree. When they showed the picture, I was like, Kay looks great. Why would it be a shady comment? But again, I don't know how it was said. Amber the Sag, thank you for being a member for the super chat. Season 10 is about perceived petty beefs, more poor fashion choices by Gizelle, and Wendy giving diaper realness. Really? Wendy giving diaper realness, I'm getting bored. Really? Oh, you're talking about maybe her look with Kay during their first conversation? Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, I don't remember saying chin check, but if I did, this is what she said. I don't remember saying chin check, but if I did, I apologize. This conversation should not be longer than one episode. I think it became longer because Kay then backtracked that she even said it later on. Zoe, thank you for another super chat. Zoe says, watching Kay and Angel, be so focused on Wendy made me understand why people love RHOA and Roni. They are good at being in the moment and not focusing on building a narrative. I can see that. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Don't forget, you can also share the live if you haven't already, and you can also like the live. We're almost at 600 likes. Be sure to like it. We have almost 1,800 of you watching on multiple platforms. Shout out to those of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and I said Facebook, right? Yep. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. Okay. Moving on from there. So Gizelle makes a comment about Angel's outfit. So Angel comes in, and Angel's also breastfeeding. So Angel comes in, and you see a lot of her breasts. So Gizelle, I have to say I laughed at this confessional because she was just like, what is going on with Angel's breasts? And then she's like, scratch that. Everyone looks fantastic. You said what you said. You said what you said. I didn't even notice it, though, until she said it. I was like, oh. So Wendy arrives. Then Gizelle brings up, so what's going on with these events and the event? I thought this is Gizelle being a master manipulator. Okay. All right. So this is Gizelle being a master manipulator, and what she's trying to, a producer. That's a better word, but also master manipulator. So she brings up the fact that, why, I thought this was your event, Wendy. Why are we here? You know why we're here. And this is where Kay says, well, you know that Wendy likes to be first, better, best. I've never heard of that term before. And even the way that she articulated it, I was like, wait, what did she say? I had to rewind it a couple of times. She's like, you know how Wendy... you know how Wendy likes to be first, better, best. Oh, does she? Look, does she? So Wendy's just like, she's like, this is awkward that there's this constant desire to have an issue with me. And I have to say, yes, it is getting awkward, even for the audience watching it. Okay? For the audience watching it, it's like, what? I did not expect this to go left so quickly. Because, again, this was Kay now trying to make an issue that she came to your event. She came to support your event. And it's like, okay, damn, now we're fighting about what? What are we fighting about? So she's like, you know that she likes to be better, best. First, better, best. Wendy says that it's awkward that there's this constant desire to have an issue with me. So Kay then brings up Wendy being a professor, and Wendy's like, and Wendy definitely gets unbothered because Wendy is just like, and now you have an issue with my profession. Maybe you're insecure about your profession. And then, of course, Stacey's just like, so Gizelle being a producer, Gizelle brings up the fact that Angel said that Kay was backtracking on the chin check comment. And Kay eventually confirms, she's like, you know what? She said, I said it and I apologize. And then Angel apologizes, like, if you felt like I wasn't being, I wasn't having your back, I apologize. So Wendy points out the obvious, like, well, that wasn't the energy that you had when we were shopping the other day. That wasn't and literally you see Gizelle, Tia confirm the same thing. Like, yeah, that wasn't the energy. That wasn't the energy that you had. And so they flash back to what Angel said. Again, that interaction between Kay and Angel felt like we have decided that we're going to have each other's back on the show. These women are going to try and tear us apart, but we're going to have each other's back. Okay? So, Wendy then says that she talks about the whole backtracking and why Kay said that she did chin check Angel, and why is she backtracking now? Because you had a different energy during the shopping situation. So Kay says that she knows how things can get heightened in this group. Basically, they're breaking the fourth wall. She says she knows how things can get heightened in this group. But then the way that she talks to Angel, I was sort of like, Angel, you going to sit here and take that? Okay. Because she was like, I know how things can get heightened in this group, but I hope that this will be the last time. I was like, what? Huh? And literally, Gizelle is like, well, it looks like, I don't know if she didn't chin check her before, but she definitely chin checked her now. That is the energy that we had right there, was Keiarna chin checking Angel. Now I'm starting to believe that she did chin check Angel before.
Send a little sunshine with 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can save up to 30% off during our sunflower sale. Our farm-fresh sunflowers are grown across the Americas. Each bloom is carefully selected, so your gift shines as bright as the season. Whether it's a thoughtful surprise or a milestone celebration, these long-lasting blooms are guaranteed to impress. Shop our sunflower sale today and save up to 30% off at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Velda says that those women always stirring the pot. Gizelle is like a big snitch. But we have to also remember, we're watching a reality show. This is part of what happens. Producers tell them, please bring this up during this scene. And then they run with it. So they know, and sometimes they do it because they know production is going to ask them to bring things up. And it wouldn't shock me, because this has happened before, where a dinner or a scene is lackluster, and production will come in and be like, guys, what is going on? Why are we not talking about this? Or why are we not talking about that? We have to remember, we're watching a reality show. They could be filming for hours, but they still need to get things going. But I will say, in that particular moment, exactly, Lavender says that Kay basically told Angel to shut up. And Angel sat there and took it. So I'm looking at Angel very differently. Her tagline is not landing the way I thought it was landing before, especially after this week's scene. Austin says that Kay is from Baltimore. Don't forget that. We haven't forgotten about it. And that's the energy he was giving. Danielle says that's that Baltimore energy / hashtag chin check. That's the edit. I mean, I thought that maybe she was being performative before, but in that moment, she definitely chin checked Angel, and Angel fell in line. She did. All right. So Greg breaks up the situation. He comes in, hey guys, I see everything is going great. I came over with some $20 bills. And again, it was giving very rehearsed. If you pay attention to Keiarna's energy when he comes over, it was very much like, y'all planned this. You gave him a little bit of a makeover. You saw what people were saying online about Greg. You probably went to the bank and got the cash and said, during the filming, bring this over to me, like you giving me money for. That's the energy it was giving. I'm not saying he don't got it, but it's giving very rehearsed this season with Kay. So all of this stuff that she's doing, this is what's happening. Cece says, is it possible production edited out a response from Angel? It's possible, but we have to remember, I'm missing a particular part of this conversation, because Angel turns on Wendy. Because at one particular point, Kay says to Angel, do you like her? And I was like, wait a minute. How do we get there? She's like, do you like her? To Angel. This is Kay talking to Angel. Do you like her? And Wendy's just like, and she's just like, and so she turns on Angel. But Wendy brings up a valid point. You're mad at me? Gizelle's confirming it, because when Wendy was speaking, Gizelle said facts. T is confirming what was said and that they all felt the same way. Okay? Oh, thank you, Jada. She says, no, Kemp. Kay said, let that be the last time. She said, no. She says, I hope let that be the last time. Because I watched it multiple times. Rachel says Kay's mom was giving I am the fifth member in the background. Where's my Ivan?
I am the fifth member.
How about that? Again, we could give grace. We're watching an edited scene, CC. Yes, maybe what Angel said could have been cut out. However, Angel was definitely having Kay's back. Do you like her? And Angel's like, I don't like the fact that Wendy is basically twisting what she said. She didn't twist what you said. Gizelle confirmed it, and so did Tia confirm what was said during the shopping event. Okay. Adrian, thank you for being a member. Adrian says, I don't think she checked her like Angel is a punk. I think it was more, girl, I brought you on the show. What are you doing not siding with me? But it came across like she was punking her. That's how it crossed. That's the way I viewed it. It did come out that way. I was sort of like, damn, Angel, you ain't got nothing to say? Tish, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Tish says, these minor issues last way too long because the girls drag it. I wish the other franchises would learn from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Well, let's be honest. They dragged an entire episode of this situation with Lisa and Angie this week. We had a whole episode about fighting about what? I have no idea. I have no idea. Yonette, thank you so much for the super chat. Yonette says, why didn't Kay have the same energy for Gizelle that she has for Stacey and Wendy? Kay should have chin-checked Gizelle. I mean, how would she have chin-checked Gizelle? Because that's literally what she said to Gizelle. If anything, Gizelle wasn't lying. She wasn't putting more sauce on the situation. Duchess, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Duchess says, Kay read the feedback from last season and is now overcorrecting. Literally said that. She's tired of everyone saying that she is boring. I love her confessional looks, though. I agree. Her confessional looks are 10s across the board. 10s across the board. Every confessional look has been beautiful. Danae, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Guys, you can also support just by liking today's video, sharing the live, subscribing. It is a subscribers only live chat. Shout out to our King's Guards holding us down in the live chat. We appreciate that. Let's move on. So we have this awkward interaction between Angel and Wendy because now Keiarna is directing Angel. Do you like her? Do you like her? I thought that was weird. I did see that Kay Gentles says, Kempire, did you see Watch What Happens Live when Andy said that Stacey's a good addition to the show? I did see that when he said that, and that stood out to me as well. I was like, I thought that was interesting. And I do agree. She is a good addition to the show. I can't say the same for Kay. BY says that Kay is becoming a problem. Kay is becoming a problem. I know y'all seen it says, Kay is so childish. It comes off as high school and wants someone to be fearful or intimidated. Like, please. I agree. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, chairs should have started moving when Kay said, let that be the last time. I didn't like that. There is no way in any God's green earth that any of my friends would have said that to me. Off camera or on camera. Let that be the last time. I'll be like, who the F are you talking to? Keith says, Angel's giving confessional gangster, but a real life mouse. I think I think Angel is getting used to the show, and I think she's basing how she's conducting herself on the show because of conversations that she's had with Kay. So she thinks that I need to ride with Kay no matter what during the season. Danae, thank you so much for the super chat. Danae says, no, I feel like Wendy was being messy. I mean, some people might say that. Again, when you're watching this show, and if you're not thinking with a producer's hat on, you're just looking at the situation, you do think that Wendy is being messy by bringing up what was said. But that was what was said, and it's not like Kay is not going to see it eventually. And you see, literally, it was almost like watching tennis between Ashley, even though Ashley wasn't there. It was like Ashley was barely in this episode. They only gave her that little scene at the beginning to justify her check. But you see Ashley chiming in, you see Gizelle chiming in, you see Tia chiming in. Confirming like, well, yeah, girl, that wasn't the energy you were giving before. Thank you, Leo. I forgot about this. Leo says, Kempire, Gizelle was like, why are y'all mad at Wendy when I was the one that brought it up? Exactly. That's why I'm giving Angel the side eye. Because, like, if you're going to be mad at anyone, you should be mad at everyone that was there that's confirming that you were giving a different energy. Okay. Zeke's quality cookies. I love a good cookie. Zeke's quality cookies says, Kempire, I sent you a message because I'm a friend of Angel and Bobby. What did you send me a message of? RC, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. RC says, Andy was trying to hint to Kay to back down off of Stacey, and Kay refused to take the multiple hints last night on Watch What Happens Live. Yeah, this is not going to end well for Keiarna. Poor thing. All right. Biggie says that Angel's picking a side, which is fine, but girl, the side you're picking is a sinking ship. So you know what happens when you get on a sinking ship? Yeah, that happens. Asa said, one thing Kempire is going to do is talk about food. She has a cookie in her profile picture. And I love a good soft chocolate chip cookie. Where can I find a good chocolate chip cookie here in New York City? Please tell me. Now I want a nice soft chocolate chip cookie. I went to Whole Foods and their chocolate chip cookies, every once in a while you can get a nice like soft one. But no, they're like hard. I'm like, what the hell is this stupidness? I don't want no hard chocolate chip cookie. Asses has such a tourist. And is. Look, and is. All right. Let me drop the call link before we get to the Sprinter van and what went down in the Sprinter van. If you're just joining us, guys, we're talking about the Real Housewives. Wait, hold on. Levine Bakery? Look, okay, let me focus. We really get sidetracked a lot here on the channel, which I don't mind, but we do get sidetracked a lot. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to like the video. I will drop the call link for the general audience. Let's get to 750 likes, and I'll drop it for the general audience. But if you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call in link on the community tab. Oh, wait, sidebar. There was something that I forgot to talk about. I do find it interesting that the person that styled Keiarna, and again, it's a stylist. They all share stylists. Ooh, Semhar says Wegman has good cookies. Do they? Insomnia cookies are good. Maybe I will go to Insomnia. They do have good cookies. Look, not me going on the hunt for cookies after this live. I might though. Please hold. All right, so if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys on the community tab. Let me do this while we talk about cookies. Okay. And once we get to 750 likes, I will drop the call and link for the general audience. Okay, so I've dropped the call and link for our members. So thank you to those of you that... Oh, we're at 553,000 subscribers. I just noticed that. Oh, Essie says, and muffins. All right, calm down, y'all. Calm down. Ooh, V says, Wegmans is the best. I need one here in Texas. Really? Asa says, and yay, 1 million next. I just realized we hit 553,000. Thank you. Shout out to, if you're a new subscriber here, let us know. Oh, I am definitely not doing crumble. Have y'all read up what's in the damn crumble cookies? No, I am not doing, I have never joined that train. And plus, I'm a simple man. I'm a tourist. We don't need all the extraness. I don't need all these crazy things on cookies. And I've seen enough TikTok videos where the crumble cookies aren't that great. Just saying. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the love. Really? Wegman cookies are good? Let me find out. I don't think I've ever had Wegman cookies. I've had like groceries from Wegmans, but I never tried their cookies. We'll be trying today. We'll be doing a cookie off. Follow me on TikTok at TheKempire. I'm going to try all the cookies today. Then throw up at the end of the day. Blooming Subways. I don't eat Subways. Not just because I'm not a big sandwich person, but I've had their cookies. I haven't had their cookies in a long time, though. But you're right. They actually do have good cookies. Someone said, tell us about Crumble. Google Crumble on TikTok. You ain't gonna have them suing me like they sued, like the beef people sued Oprah. Oh, all right. Ari, thank you so much for being a member. Oh, Ari with the picture. I see you, Ari. Ari says, I think Kay was frustrated because her and Angel had an agreement offline. I agree. And she's trying to dead it before the group heightens the issue. Poor Angel fell into their trap. Wendy/Jizzy were being messy, in my opinion. I agree, they were. However, I think they were holding her accountable because you were giving a very different energy during the shopping event. So, and again, we have to remember, in a real friend group, we probably wouldn't bring up what was said, but we were filming a reality show where they understand the game of the reality show. Demi, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Demi says, let that be the last time. Complete chin check. It definitely, she got chin checked in front of all of us. So do y'all believe behind the scenes, Kay did chin check her? Yeah, I believe it. Yo-Yo says being messy is the whole show. Yeah, so I'm not mad at them for bringing it up. This is what housewives do. Ooh, Velda. Okay, here we go with the sidebars. Velda says their raspberry white chocolate chip cookie is good. Subways, right? That sounds good. Do I have a Subways near me? I'm sure I do. I'm gonna go to Subways. I'm gonna go to. I'm not going to Crumble. I'm not doing it. Go to Insomnia. Go to Wegmans, and I'm gonna come back. Vicky says I'm gonna try Melissa's cookies, but that's a different cookie. That's the rainbow cookie, and I liked Melissa's cookie, but we're talking about chocolate chip cookies right now. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch, guys. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. Maybe I'll go on Twitch a little bit later on today as well. Rainy Circus says, man, I hate Subway, but their cookies are good. See, I agree. I haven't had their cookies in forever, probably because I'm never in there because I don't love Subways. And the plastic in there, never mind. I'm going to leave that alone. I didn't say anything. Gary says, why you keep adding S to Subway, Kemp? Very New York thing to do, Subways. Oh, Sade says Wegmans Bakery is the best. I don't think I've ever been. V says, have you ever tried Leaven's Bakery, Kempire? No, maybe I should write this down. Look, let me take notes. I'm at, where is this located? Levin? Is it how you pronounce it? Levin Bakery? Let me make a list. And as I'm making the list, guys, members line up in the back. Everyone's getting 30 seconds today because you guys have a lot to say and I don't have a lot of time. And I've already been live talking about this show for an hour and a half. If you just joined us, we're talking about the Real Housewives. We're talking about Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, Levin Bakery, Insomnia, Subway. Can't go at lunchtime, though. All these places will be crowded. All right. Oh, Trisha says Levin's Bakery is amazing. There's another bakery that's going popular right now, and it's been around here in New York for forever. And I've bookmarked the place because like I need to go there. And I'm not usually into like the TikTok trends and things like that, but I was like, this looks like an authentic New York bakery, and I want to go and get some stuff from there. Oh, Demille says they have locations all over Manhattan. Look, Dainty says, I need a cookie from Levin Bakery. Oh, Lord. D says, look at us taking notes on cookies, baby. We always help each other out as a community, okay? Okay, thank you so much. So Unique says, Levin has 5 locations in New York City. Bernice says, Panera Bread makes good cookies. Do they? I don't think I've ever had theirs. What? Arjun says Subway has a foot-long cookie now. I don't need all that. Calm down. Like, I don't need all that. And Jay says crumble cookies taste like they are baked in easy oven. Yeah, I'm not doing crumble cookies, especially after you read what's in them. No, thank you. Hold on. Yonette says bake my cake Harlem. Y'all gonna have me going through all throughout Manhattan today? Just because, meanwhile, I need a tooth extraction. I just went to my dentist. Clean bill of health. Okay, clean bill of health. All right. Ooh, P says, I love the Wegmans at Astor Place. Dainty Bella says, you need to. All right. Jada says that Angel was giving Nuck If You Buck behind Kay's back, but she got chin checked in front of all the girls. And in front of us. Ooh, I love salted caramel. Who has a salted caramel cookie chocolate chip? Look, not a foot-long cookie. I don't need a foot-long cookie. I just want like a nice regular-sized cookie. Yo-Yo says they're trying to have you, Kempire, busting out the frame of the screen. And I just lost some weight. I'm not trying to, I gotta get my health. But if I get like one cookie at every place, I can taste test. But I know me, if I like the cookie, and if the cookie looks good, let me get 6, huh? Let me get 6. Okay, let's move on. The final scene of the Real Housewives of Potomac of this week's episode, the ladies get in the Sprinter because they're going to the Preakness, okay? They're going to the Preakness, and where are my notes? I lost my notes. There we go. Gizelle makes a toast to Angel because they made a toast in the Sprinter, but then Gizelle, being a troublemaker, she was like, I want to make a toast to Angel because she looks upset. I was like, oh. And Angel was like, I wasn't upset. I was mad. Oh. So she was like, why were you mad? And she was like, well, I was mad at Wendy, but I was mad at the situation. And when she explained it, I get why she was upset. But at the same time, this is your own fault, Angel. Who you're really mad at is Kay. So Kay starts explaining the dynamics of the group and how getting to know the girls, sometimes things can get misconstrued, blah, 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 blah. Then it turns into, because, Stacey had a comment, and then Stacey said that Kay was constantly having events and didn't invite her. Didn't I tell you guys a lot of times the beef that these women are talking about, it has nothing to do with the actual beef. It has to do with the show. And it seems as if, and I'm like, what events were happening? So apparently Kay was having these events and she wasn't inviting Stacey. And then Kay was just like, you just weren't on my list. You just weren't on my list. So Kay takes a sip of something and then it spills. And you have a napkin? Wendy says, if I had a cotton dress, I would let you use my dress. And then she was like, your friend of 20 years, why don't you let her use your dress? It didn't seem like it was that deep for I don't think she needed a dress or anything, or a napkin. It just seemed like a little bit of a splatter, but fine. Get a little tissue or something. No, none of these ladies who have fascinators on have a napkin in their purse. None of them. So this is all for costumes because none of these women had a napkin in their purse to help Kay. So Wendy says, like, Angel, you ain't gonna help your friend. So then it leads to Kay saying, F off, Wendy. F off, F off, F. Kay's voice in this moment, this was a different voice that we got. All right? Because Kay's like, F off, Wendy, F off, F off, F off, F off. And I was like, oh, damn. Just when we thought Shamia's barking was cringy. Kay, that was cringy. It's like you're giving so bothered by Wendy, and Wendy is giving unbothered. I know she's bothered now, but right in this moment, in this scene, Wendy is paying you dust, and you're giving like brat. You're giving tantrum. It's like F off, Wendy. F off, F off, F off, F off. I'm like, what's going on? What is happening? Okay. So, Stacey gets into it with Kay, okay? Because she's like, Kay's like, she's tired of these hoes, especially the person sitting next to me. And Stacey's like, I'm a hoe? I'm a hoe? And Angel's like, it's a colloquialism. And then Kay's like, yeah, it's a colloquialism. Okay, Europe cities. All right. She's like, yeah, it's a colloquialism. She don't even know what that means. All right. So Stacey was like, well, calm down. Because she's like, I don't want to get chin checked. She's like, because I know how you are. She's like, I don't want to get chin checked. And then Ashley's like, okay, that's a low blow. That was a very traumatizing event. You weren't so empathetic to Kay when the situation was going down, which involved your friend at your event. Now all of a sudden you're so empathetic, Ashley. I thought that was like, Ashley, you weren't so empathetic to Kay last season when you were like, you didn't even see a scar. She's like, oh, where's the scar? Now all of a sudden you want to be empathetic? Girl. I was like, I said, I had to look at the screen. I was like, who's speaking? Ashley is talking about how this was a traumatic event for Kay? Girl, please save it. Please save it. And then you making a comment in your confessional, like, you just don't like Stacey this season. You decided that Stacey is your target. And she's like, that was a very traumatizing event for Kay. And she's like, that such a situation makes me want to chin check Stacey. Who you chin checking? Stacey is from Detroit. Okay. I think Stacey would. I know Stacey likes to give prim and proper, but we know she is from Detroit. I don't think Stacey's scared of you or Kay. About that made you want to chin check her. You ain't chin check. First of all, you ain't chin checking anyone. You need to chin check that voice. And everyone's asking whether or not you've caught the melody. We're still waiting on that, girl. Anyway. Okay. Shay says that Ashley has run her course on RHOP. I agree, but we've been saying that for the last couple of seasons. Once she finalized her divorce, it was like, okay, girl. Like, it's just giving tired. But here's the thing. Producers, the network, they like people that they can control and that are controllable and moldable because then they can utilize them on the show to come for other people. So that's why an Ashley and a Gizelle stay. All right. Guys, we're almost at 750 likes. Oh, we just hit 750 likes. Keep liking the video, though. We have almost nearly 2,000 people watching on multiple platforms. So be sure to share the live. Be sure to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. And if you like my t-shirt, let me move this over here. Are you okay in our African colors? Look, our black colors, our black pride colors. There we go. Are you okay? You can get a t-shirt. They come in multiple colors, multiple sizes. So go get your Are You Okay t-shirts today. This is like a cream. I know it looks white to you guys, but this is like a cream, like an off-white with the, with the good black and pride, black pride colors. There we go. All right. How would you guys rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac? Let me see how you are rating it in the chat. Not bad. 64% of you are rating this week's episode between a 7 and 10. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. 31% of you are rating between a 4 and 6, and 5% of you are rating it between a 1 and 3. Zoe, thank you so much for another super chat. Zoe says, it took Kay and Angela 3 episodes for me to side with Gizelle and Ashley on anything. 10 seasons in, and I now have to go defend them. I am pissed off. Let them go. Yonette, thank you so much for another super chat. Yonette says, Wendy said, you want an issue? I'll give it to you. Kelso, thank you so much for the super chat. Kelso says, I like an activated Stacey. Just call her Nicey. I'm liking Stacey this season. Stacey is getting it from every which way, but she is holding her own. Okay? She is definitely holding her own. All right. Keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is of their opinion and alleged. Okay? I'm also going to put up, and for those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. There goes the star, Stacey. Okay. All right. Let me put my little disclaimer up. Where is my disclaimer? Where is my disclaimer? Where's my banner? Oh, there we go. All right. Let's get to our callers. Again, callers, please respect the timer. Everyone's getting 30 seconds. That is more than enough time to share your opinions. We've already killed this. We've already beat this dead horse over and over again during my recap. Okay. Let's bring up Tyler first. Tyler's first behind the scenes. Tyler, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Kay is such a Sagittarius and how we feel, but the problem is because I'm a Sag and we like to express stuff, but she does not know how to articulate herself. And Wendy will forever bag her into a corner. Wrong girl to go there with. Unpopular opinion. If Gizelle would step her fashions up, I would love her. It's like you can't be messy and look a mess, but I do like her this season. Just being, it's like when Kenya Moore said you got to look pretty when you read a bee. Like you do, you can't look a mess because there's something to read you about, Gizelle. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler, and thanks for respecting the tiebreaker. Elle, my bell's backstage. Elle, my bell, the acreage. What's going on?
This episode of Karen is MIA. I just want to say we family, but I might not be the person under the Holy Ghost fire spell because I just look at this as part as Wendy, she showed up to the Baltimore Harbor dressed in a way that nobody dresses like that going to the harbor. She's overdressed for certain things. Keiarna dresses a lot more appropriately for situations. And I just feel like Angel should have Kay's back. My friends would have my back. I would have my friends' back. That's just normal. And that's just the way things go. And I do think they were being a little bit messy with trying to put Angel out there to kind of go against her own friend. And it just wouldn't happen. I wouldn't do that with none of my high school friends. So I don't know why we would expect that from Angel and Keiarna. But that's all I have to say.
So, Elle, do you think that I'm under the Holy Ghost fire spell?
I'm just saying I'm not under I gave Wendy a compliment the last time I had called. So it's not like a favoritism thing, but I'm just saying I just see this differently this episode.
Okay. Thank you, Elle. Bye. All right. Amina's backstage. We're going to bring in Amina up next. I did just drop the call-in link for the general audience as well. Thank you guys. Keep liking the video. We're almost at 800 likes. Amina, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Potomac this week?
Hi, Kempire. I didn't enjoy this episode. I was irritated left, right, and center. Kay was just doing way, way, way too much. And I'm afraid that she's going to be this way for the whole entire season. And that's going to be, I'm already tired. And she's going to carry on. She's going to be exhausting. And she's going to, like the audience said, overcorrecting the situation. Yeah. I think the new girls are just too self-aware of the cameras. And I don't know what the remedy for that is. And also, I'm really mad at Wendy. She was overdressed at the harbor, but she's on Housewives. That's what you do. You overdress.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to have a season where she was going to be the best and the least bothered, but now she's got a mugshot. I'm so mad at her.
Damn. Thanks, Amina. I mean, yeah, I have to agree. They're filming something. I would not expect Wendy to go to that meeting that they're filming and be dressed regular. I mean, yeah, you're going down to the harbor. I probably wouldn't dress that way, but yeah. That doesn't bother me. You're filming a show. Okay, but then, with everything else that's been happening. All right, let me bring up Mo Reality. Mo Reality, what did you want to share?
Oh my God, 30 seconds is so short. Hey, Kempire. Hey. It's been so long. I'm going to just go ahead and unpopular opinion. I am not feeling, what's her name? Tia from London? Mm-hmm. Now, she said she moved here to the States when she was about 17 years old. And she lived in Chicago, I believe. That's what she said, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not really understanding I feel like she's putting on. I feel like she's putting on. I know an actress when I see one. Oh. You are not walking around saying, Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. I am that good. Like, I really feel like she is like really, really forcing it to me. I want to like her, but I need to see who she really is.
Okay, more reality. We might have to come back to this comment later. Thanks, more reality. Excuse me. Gary says, yes, Kemp, you are under the Wendy spell. Love you. Here's the thing, though. I think people are not used to me, because if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you know that Wendy has not been my fave, but I will give credit when credit is due or call people out when I feel like they're reaching. Just saying. You might think that I'm under Wendy's spell just because I'm defending her now, but if you've been watching the channel, then you know I'm not always a Wendy defender. Just saying. But that's how I watch shows, and I think that's part of the reason why people like watching my channel. Just saying. All right. Noda Queen is backstage, and we're going to bring Noda Queen up next. Noda Queen, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So First, I can see why Keiarna and Angel are friends because they're both behind the back gangsters. I think the only reason why Keiarna actually did chin check her at that little thing is because she was in her house with her mom and her man standing over there. So, of course, it all big like that. She had the opportunity to do that before, and she tucked tail, just like Angel tucked tail when she brought it up to Keiarna. They're both the same type of person, so that friendship makes a lot of sense to me. But as far as Wendy goes, I'm the same way. I'm going to judge her based off of her showing this season. I could watching her this whole season. That's all.
Okay. Thanks so much, Noda Queen. All right. Let's bring up Miss Sharon next. Miss Sharon, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Hey, check this out. I saw Gizelle's outfit, and if I couldn't be around Gizelle with that outfit because I would get sick all over it. I can't stand pastels. I can't do it.
Oh my God.
And big flowers. I can't do it. My mother had a couch like that back in the 80s, and I couldn't even sit in there and watch TV. The next day, I had the furniture people come pick that mess up.
Oh, damn. All right, Miss Sharon, thank you.
But the fascinator was pretty.
Oh, okay.
That she had on, but no, not the outfit. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Miss Sharon. I think the outfit they could have done something. I think maybe she had something around her neck. I think that would have maybe made the outfit a little bit better. And the wig wasn't wigging. Cal, what you doing over there? Like, she's not a good representative of your work. Just saying. Maybe it's not his work. Maybe it's just her at home. Because, people have said, she stays within her budget. Dalen's backstage. Dalen, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm good. I just want to say the episode was pretty good. The season starting off really well. And Keiarna being a Sagittarius is a shock to me because what, bro? What's going on? We don't be looking for issues, but when they come to us, we end it. So she must be a November Sag because December Sag is when we doing all of that. But I'm here for Wendy, though she got a lot going on. I'm still trying to be objective through the season, and Gizelle still can't dress. So.
Thanks, Dalen.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, we have April Aries backstage. April Aries, what did you want to share?
Good afternoon, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. So I feel like this episode, it was entertaining, but it felt like there's a lot of tension coming from Wendy and Keiarna when they're having to sit down. It seems like both of them, were like on guard, and I get it's the show, but it just felt, like a lot of tension. And then when they had that scene in her apartment, it like intensified because she had Mama Bear and Papa Bear over there in the corner, like ready to like be on standby. And it's just like, be a big girl. You can hold your own weight. And it's like, if you're going to bring your homegirl on the show, you need to strategize, because I wouldn't have my homegirl looking crazy and chin check her because you did. Have a good day, Kempire.
You too, April. Yup. San is backstage. We're going to bring San up next. San, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac this week?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm hearing the Tia commentary about the accent thing. Yeah. Being in the United States so long, I do get asked the same thing, like, what's up with that? Doesn't it? And I saw someone comment as well, like, they're from Jamaica. They've been here 35 years. I have an uncle who has been here 40 years, and the accent seems thicker. I have to think about that one. And then also, like, my partner's always like, stop comparing. You don't live there anymore. And it's like, but, and naked is a word I use so often. So when I saw everyone's confusion, I was like, huh? But anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much, San. Yeah, I find that to be interesting, especially as a child of immigrants that have parents that have been here for years. They still, for work, they'll, but even for work, you still hear an accent. So please understand, if I moved to London, this American accent would be gone. I told you I was there for like a week, and I was like, but I think it's also because I am Jamaican, so there is that influence of that. So for me, it feels very natural to kind of be like to speak with that type of accent. But please understand, when I moved to London, That will be my new accent. And for those that will be like, oh my God, he's got a new accent. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Look away. All right. I didn't realize that people were having a big conversation about the word knackered. And again, maybe because I already knew what that word meant. But Gizelle was like, what's that mean? Oh, okay. All right. But also, depending on what television shows you watch, you probably know what those words mean. I don't know why I know what that word means. Maybe because I read books. Sorry. All right. Excommunicado's backstage. Excommunicado, what did you want to share about Potomac?
Yeah, hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm all right. So I don't think Wendy or Giselle were being shady or being mean by bringing up the whole Angel thing. Because for me, I would also be worried if my friend said something but denied to my face and backtracked and apologized, and later went back again to deny and then coming back to apologize again. It looks weird. Why the whole inconsistency? And I know we've confirmed the whole Stacey divorce issue, but I was just thinking when that report came out, like last season, she and Ashley were having divorce settlement meetings, but apparently the divorce wasn't filed until December, which was after the season, and concluded within 2 weeks. So it's giving like, was this all planned for the story to match what is going to be on the show?
Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? All right. Excommunicado, thank you for calling in. All right. Let's bring up Taurus with the T. Taurus with the T, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kemp. Happy Monday.
You too.
I just want to say I was very embarrassed for Keiarna. I mean, she had everybody walking her. And I feel like Angel was just as confused. So it's very easy for people to pin Wendy as the bad guy in this scenario when clearly Gizelle is the person that keeps bringing up their issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was dying just watching Kay's mom be on ready. She was just sitting on ready to tag along. But I'll keep watching. Thanks, Kemp.
Thanks. All right. And she still had 3 seconds to go. Boom. Okay, Smiley's backstage. We're going to bring Smiley up next. Smiley, what did you want to share about Potomac?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I have 3 things to say. Actually, you're a lie. You're talking about you traumatized. Well, you wasn't traumatized when Michael was grabbing people's butts. Angela, you looking at Wendy all hostile when Gizelle was saying the same thing that Wendy was saying, but you had more heat for Wendy. Gizelle, please get a stylist, girl, because dressing like Little House on the Prairie is not going to get it. And Wendy, I don't have anything bad to say about you this last night. You was on point. But Keiarna, I like you, girl, at first, but now you're really getting on my nerves. You're irritating me. But that's all I got.
Thanks, Smiley. All right, we have Jess backstage. Guys, for those that just joined us, we're taking some callers talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. If you're part of the replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate this week's episode, and your thoughts on the episode and your thoughts on what we've been saying. All right, and your favorite place to get a cookie in New York City. All right, let's bring Jess up. Jess, what did you want to share?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I saw that you were going to mention the stylist thing because I did notice that, like, Wendy, she pretty much stopped working with her after the reunion.
Yep.
When it was, like, a thing where she, like, sort of, like, oversaw and styled everyone on the cast. And I do think that was a strategic thing for her where she just kind of felt like maybe, like, if I continue working with this person, she's working with other people on the cast, then it's like there may be a thing where you may funnel information to them, like, you know, unintentionally and things like that. And so I do think that, like, that was something that she did strategically because, like, you know, like now it's like, you know, it kind of seems as if they aren't cool in a way, just kind of like just in the interaction with social media. So, yeah, that's all.
I told y'all. Thank you so much, Jess. Yeah, because I don't know if you guys realize, I started to talk about this. I don't remember if I fully said it, that Keiarna was styled by Wendy's former stylist. And I told you, I was like, that's interesting. She's been styling Wendy for years. And I did ask her about it. She didn't say anything. But I thought the response was interesting. All right, let's bring up Elise. Elise, what did you want to share? Elise, I can't hear you. Elise, I can't hear you. And your mic is unmuted. I can't hear you, Elise. Elise, do me a favor. Drop out and call back in. Let me bring up Anthony next. Anthony, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. Hey, everyone. Anthony from Los Angeles, California. You're good. I'm good. Let's get to it. I give this episode an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I was laughing the whole time because Keiarna, you're an embarrassment. Get her off the show. I don't understand this whole fight she's trying to be doing with Wendy, with whoever. I don't get it. I'm looking at Wendy very much side-eye, kind of like an investigator because of obviously what had happened. I'm curious if it's going to be brought up this season in terms of like her robbery before the season's filmed, or was it last season? I don't remember. But I'm curious to see if that would ever be talked about. And then lastly, Stacey, that comment about the chin check at the end, flawless. I love her. Thank you so much, Kempire. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Anthony.
Take care.
Bye. All right. Hold on. Okay. Guys, we're almost at 900 likes. Can we get to 900 likes? We have 1,700 plus people watching. Actually, 2,000 plus if I count the 300 of you watching on X. Shout out to everyone on X. I see you guys. Hey, Just Jules watching on X. Amber's watching on X. All right. Let me bring up, hold on. Lexi. There we go. Lexi, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, what I was going to say, I understand Wendy completely with regards to not giving a care. You have to think about her profession and what she's done for a living for years. You can't care. When you're in a certain level in a professional world, you know this. You can't give a care what people think. So for Kay to be all upset about that is honestly, sometimes I would think she's of a different generation, even though Kay is 37 and Wendy's 41. They're not that far apart. But Kay acts very childish and immature, and that emotional maturity is lacking. So that would be one thing I would say. And for this chin check thing is just crazy. The fact that that's something that they're bringing up on this show in particular, it's a term I didn't even know until I heard it here. So,
really?
I've never heard it.
Wow. Thanks, Lexi, for calling in. I've heard of a chin check, but I'm from New York. So that might be why. All right. All right. Let me bring up Elise again. Let me see. Elise, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So what I was saying was, okay, the first season that Keiarna was brought in as a friend of, she went against Wendy when she wasn't feeling good. And she tried to say, oh, yeah, she's not checking on me because the Jebs tried to align with her. And she fell for it. She took that bait. Then the next season when she's brought in full time, Wendy was ready to clock her tea. And Wendy was like, oh, no, remember, I'm very close to your mom. This is what she really said about your engagement or so-called engagement with Greg, because Keiarna couldn't get her story straight about that engagement. So now we fast forward to this season. And lo and behold, that's the real issue. But Keiarna can't put herself out there like that and tell the honest truth. That's her issue with Wendy.
Okay. All right, Elise. Thank you. All right. Let's bring up Taurus Sun. Taurus Sun, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. Happy Monday. Get you some food and cookies. I wanted to say, first of all, KK is doing too much. And I feel bad because her friend Angel, she seems like she's defeated. She was defeated in that situation. And, you know, KK is being a bully. I'm sorry, she's being a bully. I don't care where she's from. You're not going to come at me. I don't care if it's in your house, in front of your mama, in front of your fake man over there. You're not going to check me and ask me questions like that. That was very aggressive. And that girl just had a baby. That's not your friend. But I just wanted to say that I don't like KK. She should have checked everybody. She should have checked Gizelle as well, but they don't want to do that because, you know, Gizelle is the queen of Potomac. So I like Stacey. She's spacey. I get it. But you guys have a good Monday. Get you some warm chocolate chip cookies with some vanilla ice cream, and you'll be good.
Thank you, Taurus Sun. Bye. Taurus Sun knows exactly the way to my heart. All right. Thanks to everyone that called in for our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. Final thoughts. I thought it was an okay episode. I am tired of the Keiarna dragging out this for the last 3 episodes. So they've had an issue, apparently. Well, Keiarna's had an issue with Wendy since episode 1. We're on episode 3, and we're still talking about it. And we still have not gotten to the bottom of what the actual issue is. And yes, for those that are not enamored by the Holy Ghost fire, you believe like, well, you think that Wendy is not a good friend behind the scenes. Okay, so why is it that the other ladies don't chime in that way too then? Because if that's true, and I'm sure she isn't, but if that's true, why isn't everyone saying the same thing? The only person that's saying that is you. And you still have not gotten to the bottom of what the actual issue is. And now you're fighting with her about this Preakness event, and you know, just when you greeted her into your home, and now it's sort of like, you know, Wendy likes to be first, better, best. What? And now it's led to this other argument, and now Angel has to fall in line, and now Angel, you look crazy. Sorry, Angel, you do though. You did. You went on the sinking ship. You went on the Titanic, and now you drowning, and your friend is like this. Oh, using you in the breast as life support, as her raft, so that she can survive. And she's gonna let you sink while she's still up here like surviving. That's what's happening. It's sad. It's sad. And I was open to it. I was like, Kay might have a hard time really getting to the bottom of it, of her real issue. Kay was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and she couldn't get to the bottom of it. Again, last night's guests on Watch What Happens Live were boring, and I don't normally watch What Happens Live, but I said maybe she'll explain better on Watch What Happens Live. She did not. She did not, and it was a boring episode. It was a boring episode. It wasn't interesting. I always tell you, Watch What Happens Live, especially for these housewives, is sort of like a test ground to see, are they good housewives? She wasn't good on Watch What Happens Live either. Boring. But she's been on Watch What Happens Live before. Boring. So I'm not enamored by anybody's Holy Ghost fire. I got crystals for that. I got crystals for the Holy Ghost fire. I just have told you guys season after season, Kay ain't that girl that y'all claim that she is. Beautiful gowns. Kay, beautiful gown steward. That's all. That's it. Guys, we're almost at 900 likes. We're almost at 1,000 likes. Can we get to 1,000 likes? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing? RC, thank you so much for another super chat and for being a member. Become a member today, guys, at TheKempire.com/join. I do have my Live from Philly show that I would like to share with our community. So become a member today. RC says, quick thought. Rich folks can get their stuff stolen and replaced within the week. So if the SFOs beat the charges, don't be surprised. Maybe, but we have to keep in mind, are they the same stuff? A lot of those things come with serial numbers. Are they the same stuff? According to the prosecution, they're saying it's the same stuff. There's also emails implicating them. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to keep an open mind. All right. And thank you guys so much for all the super chats. I appreciate that. I know everyone's, tight for cash. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this. Before y'all disappear, the two or three of you that disappeared already. After the live, you'll see along the side here a donation. I'm shaming each and every one of you. If you haven't already, help us get to $3,000 for our fundraiser for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is our maybe fifth year doing this for Black women's health imperative, because Black women especially, the mortality rate for them when it comes to breast cancer is so much higher than anyone else. So help us. 100% of your donation will go to the organization. So help us reach our goal. I'm shaming each and every one of you that are watching. You could give $1, you can give $5. And please understand, if you're strapped for cash, this is the time to be giving more than ever. But like when you put out, even when you only can give $1, you'll get $5 in return. So help us reach our goal. Thank you to everyone that's already donated as well. Kelso, thank you so much for the super chat. Kelso says, chin check sounds like something from The Wire or Orange is the New Black. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that so many people don't know about that term. So I was like, oh yeah, I know that term. I ain't never been chin checked, but I know the term. All right. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Again, donate if you can. Check out some of our last videos. You'll be able to find the donation button. If you're watching the replay of this, it'll be along the side here. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to our King's Guards. We appreciate you guys as well. And thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. The next recap will be Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. No Miami this week, and we have Real Housewives of Orange County. If you missed any of our recaps from last week, be sure to check those out. You can also hear them on the Kempire podcast. All right? Pageant Mommy says Chin Check is very New York. I mean, I'm very familiar. Angel says, Keiarna, sorry for calling your condo and apartment. Make a donation in honor of your mom. You know what? Let me see. Whatless says that Kempire is trying to TD Jakes talk on me. It will never work. I only give if I get a tax receipt. Sorry, just being real. Well, Whatless, everyone shame Whatless for in the chat for not donating because unless they can benefit. So that's saying to me that you're only donating when you benefit. So that's not a real donation. So you can keep your cash. Whatless. You can keep your cash. We want people to give that want to really support and help women well, not even women. Men can be affected by breast cancer as well, but help people that have suffered from breast cancer find a cure. You trying to get a benefit. You should be ashamed of yourself that you even sat down, decided to write that in the live chat. Shame on you. Unless you get a tax benefit. Really? I hope you or anyone in your life is never affected by cancer or breast cancer. Shameful. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. For more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.